What's up, everybody? After Ice Crush back with you once again, and we're gonna do something we haven't done in a while. We're gonna do a tech news video, Apple video, and of course, everyone knows that Apple had their event in New York this past week. So we're gonna kind of cover at least the basics of what happened this week. So, as far as devices go, the MacBook Air got a refresh, the Mac Mini got a refresh, and the iPad Pro got a refresh. And stats are just pimping. So, all the information that I'm reading off this screen here is coming from 9to5mac.com. Feel free to hit up 9to5mac because it is so fantastic when it comes to Mac, Apple, and just everything Apple news. So, 9to5mac.com. So first up, the MacBook Air, Retina display, number one, killer, 4 million pixels. Bezels have been redesigned, so it's thinner, lighter, and the bezels are 50% smaller on this new model. It's actually 17% less volume as well. It's 15.6 millimeters thin, which is 10% thinner than the older MacBook Air. So it weighs in at 2.75 pounds. Now, it has the 8th gen Intel Core i5 processor and goes up to 16 gigs of RAM and a 1.5 terabyte SSD. Starts at $199. Don't we wish? $1,199. I don't really feel this is a groundbreaking update, and I know people are gonna hate on me for that, but you know, I would have thought that maybe they would have went with a cheaper model, maybe started off at like $799 and go with something a little bit more basic. I think that's the one thing that's actually missing from Apple's lineup is something that is around the price of the Mac Mini, but can be more, well, for lack of a more intelligent term, portable. I would have wanted maybe something around $800, and even if they would have only did a minimum amount of RAM and a minimum hard drive, or even gone the Chromebook line and gone completely cloud related and included a full year of iCloud of a higher amount, because what a lot of people do is just, especially for students, is they'll buy a MacBook and go for the smallest, cheapest model they can, and they'll use it just for their schoolwork. So I think it would have been a great opportunity to turn the Air into that model, and unfortunately they did not. But it's still going to be a popular model. It's going to have a fantastic fantastic reception among people who are wanting an Air refresh. Number two, and my favorite refresh, is the Mac Mini. I'm a little sad because now my Mac Mini is no longer the big dog on the block. I've had this guy for about 3 years. I got pretty much the minimum specs. I think I got 4 gigs of RAM and a 250 gig hard drive, maybe 500 gig. It's been that long. But this has been my daily driver since day one, since I bought it. This guy has done all of my tasks since day one. It's still chugging along, and I just today, no hate, just updated to High Sierra today. Mostly because I was a little afraid that with the age of it, it wouldn't handle High Sierra as well. But so far, so good. The only down thing right now is I don't think it supports Mojave. I haven't double checked it, but I've been pulling up App Store for about maybe the past couple hours, and unfortunately, it does not look like my Mac Mini supports the Mojave update, which I understand why. Does it suck? Yes, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna 100% hate on a machine that is this old to not have the biggest, best update in the world. So, but in comparison to a lot of the other computers I've had, this thing has held up one of the best. I've had Windows computers, I've had Windows laptops, desktops, and this has held up as far as from start of ownership to technical obsolescence. It's held up the best, at least 3 years, I think now. So I'm going to keep using this as my daily driver until I can't use it as my daily driver anymore. So, but yes, the Mac Mini today, or this week, got just a killer refresh. This is the one thing that everyone has been talking about, and one thing that people have been waiting for years. Tim Cook has said it's coming. We love the Mac Mini, and everyone's like, whatever. Can you give us something here? And we finally got it. So, my generation only had a dual-core CPU. The new ones have a quad-core CPU, all the way up to a 6-core CPU, which I'm already I'm already putting back pennies. The Mac Mini, the new one, features up to 10 gigabit Ethernet, 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, HDMI and USB-A. It also has the new Apple T2 security chip. The model isn't changing, it's just giving an option for space gray color, which is still great. The price is a little bit higher this time around, starting off at $799, and high end, the top end Mac Mini can take you up to 64 gigs of RAM, a 4.6 gigahertz 6-core i7 CPU, 2 terabytes with your 10 gigabit, and that will run you $4,200. Oh my goodness, that's 1,475 days of waiting for this. And I couldn't be more happy with it, because even though it starts off at a higher price point, it delivers. Even the absolute base model will still deliver. And just imagine the type of length of time you're going to get out of this guy from something like what I have now. It's just going to be that much better. You're almost future-proofing yourself by getting the new Mac Mini and having that as like a really awesome daily driver. So, and the thing is too, is with the older Mac Minis, like I also have an older one directly under that I use for just kind of spot running. And there you go. You now have a home theater PC. You now have any modicum of different things that you want or need to do in a nice affordable package. And that's going to be something that is going to irk some people, because of course with this model not supporting XYZ, people are going to be freaking out. Yeah, but trust me when I tell you, this is a good thing. So thank you, Apple. Woo. So next up is going to be the iPad Pro. This thing, as much as I'm not a big prosumer guy, this thing hits all the bells and whistles. First off, changing the actual physical layout of the unit without really messing with the functionality. First off, USB-C instead of Lightning, which is a little bit of a surprise that they kind of started with that, but they're kind of shifting a little bit more, which still isn't a bad thing. I'm not really that mad at Apple for going with something a little bit newer and having the stones to say, okay, we're trying and they're sticking with the program, because so many people are using USB-C Thunderbolt now. So that's good for Apple, and you probably are going to end up seeing this more down the line, since now the desktops, and now you're going with the mobile stuff going to this route as well. Let's see, Apple Pencil has been redesigned, and like the actual usefulness of the Mac Mini is going to be a little transformed by this redesign and then the USB usage, and also just the really weird interconnectivity you're going to be able to use the iPad Pro with, not just for on-the-go sketching or diagramming and doing those standard professional tablet tasks, but also being able to power your iPhone through your iPad. Weird. Being able to run your display monitor off your iPad. It really takes something that had a base use and expands it and really makes sure that you are able to use this in almost every single use case scenario that you want. And that, in my opinion, is just head and shoulders above the rest as far as tablets go. So there is all three of your brand new stuff, the MacBook Air, the Mac Mini, and the iPad Pro, all kind of condensed down in a very simple, easy to understand 10 minutes. So But that's all for this week. Once we find out more information and stuff starts shipping next week, we will see you guys then, and we'll get some information out there. So, thank you out there, everybody, for watching. We'll see you. Peace.